So obviously the Gear 4th, the Gear 4th has gone down. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today. Bring guys and gals, as usual, One Piece chapter reviews. Today, chapter 784, Gear 4th. Now, if you haven't seen my live reaction of the chapter in this corner right here, boom, also a link in the box below. I've seen other folks' thoughts and first impressions and whatnot. And for the most part, people are loving it, alright? It's funky, but it's epic, it's intense. I like it. I'm on that same boat. There are a few folks, like I got 2 or 3 PMs, where some folks are like, number one, this is lame as shit, because he's bouncy. Like, one dude really wanted vulcanization. I'm assuming a guy. But one guy really wanted vulcanization bad. Like, really bad. Like, oh, this is bullshit. Like, why did Oda go with the bouncy thing? That's so generic. And I'm like, generic, bro. Like, I mean, I figure far from, but, I mean, there are going to be criticism. There are going to be criticisms no matter what you do. And, yeah, I'm going to stumble there. And the thing here is, when it comes to Oda and One Piece, it's intense and epic stuff, hand in hand with comedy. That's how One Piece rolls. So, you may not like it now, but honestly, I got the feeling that the naysayers are going to like it eventually. Oh, and especially if there's another time skip where Oda refines the Gear 4th. Because there were folks who I'm pretty sure hated Gear 3 when it first came out, and love it now because Luffy refined that shit. He made it even better. So, even though Gear 4th is you know, now, like, it's newly introduced into the story, in the future, for sure, there will be some improvement. Because, in my mind, even though Luffy's more powerful now than he's ever been before, he still isn't taking on Yonko. Especially one-on-one. It ain't happening. It's not fucking happening. Now, that being said, first of all, well, admirals... No, not even admirals. Not so, no. Because we can assume that Kizaru, we've seen Fujitora for the most part, and he's been casually bringing down meteorites like fucking clockwork. Akainu, who's now Fleet Admiral. Green Bull, we know what the fuck Green Bull can do. Oh shit, there's still Green Bull. Those guys have probably gotten stronger over the course of time. Because they're not like Whitebeard where he's 72 years old, sick, and then hasn't been taking care of his body. No. The Admirals have been leveling up too. But Luffy's made some drastic leaps in leveling up in power. Now, first of all, when it comes to the look, again, I think it's cool. Yes, he has the gut, and the gut's funky. But at the same time, I like the hair because it's wild. Like the way it's waving around, it reminds me of that guy from CP9, the one who used the Seimin Kiken first that we saw, Kimamori, the guy who fought against Chopper, him. The way his hair is moving around, Luffy, like it reminds me of that Seimin Kiken look, because not only is that hair moving in that fashion, but also he hulked up. I'm not saying that Luffy is doing that, obviously he's not, because he's blowing air into his muscles, but the look and the end result is actually kind of similar. But what's also kind of cool is the armored haki, where it's going across his arm, but the way it's coming down his shoulders and his chest, and like the weird markings, that's pretty intense, man. And then the eyes too, like the way he looks, it looks pretty intense from like the chest up standpoint. And then even the legs, even though they're small, and it's like pretty much his normal leg length and whatnot, with a huge upper body, like he's going Bartholomew on your ass, like big as fuck, and like the tiniest fucking legs. You're like, what the fuck is that, Oda? But here's the thing though, the legs have more definition. They look really fucking toned and armored haki covered. Like damn, and you can see the toneness when he dropkicked Flamingo with that Rhino Schneider. Or I was intense. Oh, I was intense. My only problem is the damn gut. The gut looks fucking weird. I'm not gonna lie to you. The gut looks funky. Can't deny it, but again, it is what it is. Now, when it comes to the power, this obviously is the main thing here. The power. What's the end result of all this funkiness and all this intensity? Well, first of all, he actually has an end result kind of similar to Bellamy. Yeah. Because Bellamy has the whole spring thing, And the way Luffy's arm kind of cocked back into his own, like, forearm, and then it kind of, like, sucked into that, that reminds me of Bellamy's thing a little bit. So, it's fascinating. And the end result is massive power. Now, how he's actually using his powers, it's muscle elasticity. And he's doing that by blowing into his muscles. So the blowing part is, it's not original, obviously. But the elasticity increasing is pretty unique, obviously. Because he's not increasing muscle density like he would if he was straight up Nightmare Luffy. He's actually doing the inverse, but he's making up for the density with Armored Haki. So Armored Haki is a quintessential component of this gear. Without Armored Haki, he probably couldn't use Gear 4th. Probably. Maybe he could. I don't know. When it comes to the power, number one, I think he's more powerful in this form than he is in Gear 3. And the reason why I say that is because when he punched Flamingo, he was on the top of not just the plateaus of the palace as well. He sent Flamingo skyrocketing into the central district of the country in one punch. In one fucking punch. And what's very important to know here, so before I get into more detail about that, is that at the beginning of the chapter, we saw folks like Viola and citizens, both pirates and marines, were working together. And old folks and kids, they were all going towards the epicenter of the bird cage. Because the bird cage is moving not only because it's cutting and moving the buildings like a sharp glacier, if you would. And Zoro's going to try and stop it. I don't know how he's going to do that exactly. Maybe he'll pull some demon shit. I don't know. Finally, if he actually does. But the point here is that now that Luffy and Flamingo have left the palace area, their original battleground, which was the palace, the sunflower fields, and the plateau, has now become the entire fucking country. At least the parts in the birdcage. Understand that. The battlefield is no longer the plateau, mountain, palace area. It's the entire fucking country now. That's the battleground. There's a chance that these folks are going to get in the way of the fight between Luffy and Flamingo. Especially given the force of Luffy's attacks. And we go back to the power. Luffy knocked Flamingo from the top of the mountain all the way down to like the central district. That took like an instant. It wasn't like a long period of time. It was a fucking instant. He sent him flying, coasting, dozens of kilometers. When you compare that to like, let's say, Caesar Clown and how he took the Grizzly Magnum. Caesar Clown was sent flying through that giant tunnel across like half the fucking island. And that was a Grizzly Magnum. That was the, if you would, the bazooka version of the Gear 3rd. Luffy did the pistol version of his Gear 4th. If there's a bazooka version of his Gear 4th, well then shit. Well then shit. Oh no. Oh no. Niggas going night-night. You going night-night real quick. So I'm just saying. Not only is the speed far greater than what I can tell compared to the Gear 3, the Grizzly Magnum, but also Flamingo's a more durable guy than Caesar Clown, because Caesar Clown's mostly gas. And it was done with a freaking pistol version of Gear 4th, not a bazooka version, a pistol version. So the power has to be far greater than that of a Gear 3 Grizzly Magnum, in my personal opinion. Again, it's not confirmed full on, but we have to wait and see because the fight's still progressing forward. Now the next part is speed. And Luffy, in this form, completely blitzed. He speed blitzed Don Quixote do Flamingo. Understand the magnitude of speed blitzing a dude who can react to point blank meteorites. It reminded me full on of the Blue Nose speed blitzing. The fact that Flamingo, and honestly, there was a little bit of Kizaru too, because it was a kick in a sense. Because Flamingo was still staring. He's still staring at Luffy coming down at him. And as if he was Kizaru, in an instant, right next to Flamingo, almost like Drake, and then just drop kicks the shit out of him. And Flamingo was able to put up his Armored Haki just in time to cover his face. So I'm not saying that Luffy is as fast as Kizaru. No, Kizaru is the speed of fucking light. But here's the thing. Is Luffy faster in this form compared to Gear 2nd? And initially I wanted to say no, because we haven't seen Luffy use a full body Gear 2nd. It's been some time. Well, at least I think he has, actually, during Punk Hazard, but I can't, actually, no, I think he did, when he speedblitzed Caesar Clown a few times, when he got, like, really, really serious. But you can't say for sure if a full body Gear 2nd Luffy could speed blitz Don Quixote Doflamingo in the same magnitude as a Gear 4 Luffy. And then I remembered, oh wait, he pumped air into his muscles, thereby making himself lighter. So if he can actually maintain muscle density and make up for that with Armored Haki, as well as use Gear 2nd, or maybe the steam that we see is a byproduct of the Gear 4th, because remember, the heart's a muscle. So if he's breathing into his body's muscles with air, he's also increasing the overall surface area of his heart, probably unintentionally creating the same effect as Gear 2nd, the doping, and thereby speeding up the pumping, the contraction of the heart. So I'm gonna say, well, because he's lighter and he can maintain muscle density, he can actually perform a technique very similar to Genpo, so he can full on fly now. And Sanji had the skywalk, and I thought that was like unique in that sense among the Stray Pirates, but Luffy now has taken that in a sense. I'm like, fuck, goddamn it, Luffy. Like, who's next? Zoro, Skywalk, or Genpo. I'm like, fuck, goddamn it, Zoro. Now you too. So, but whatever. Because he has this ability with elasticity, and because he's now physically lighter, I think he is actually faster. And I'm pretty sure it's very telling, given the fact that he speedblitzed Don Flamingo. Now, the next part is durability. And this coincides with the last part, Armored Haki. You see, Luffy is now even more durable in this form than he is in any other form, because the effect of the air has increased his rubber elasticity to the point where he's now negating cutting attacks. At least for the most part. Not entirely, because if it was someone well-versed in the sword, aka Mihawk, oh no, he's cutting some dudes to size. It don't matter if you got Armored Haki. He's cutting some dudes to size. What he's also doing in order to increase his durability is controlling his already prominent Armored Haki throughout his body. And this brings up the last point, which is actually very scary, in my personal opinion. Luffy doesn't have full body Armored Haki, but the Armored Haki is permeating throughout his body as a means of defense and as a means of stretching along the entirety of his arm when he does the Culverin Python attack. And now the Armored Haki is elastic. The hardening Armored Haki is elastic. And on top of that, his arm can perform, like, it's weird, like his arm, when he did the Culverin, his arm performed like its own individual Genpo. And it was like bouncing and I'm like, what the fuck was that? So it's insane. And we just got to see what may be the tip of the iceberg for Gear 4th. Because the fight is still continuing. And please remember this. Even though Monkey D. Luffy is showcasing very impressive shit right now, Don Flamingo has been coasting fairly casually for the entirety of the arc thus far. Even though this fight may have some Luffy Blue Note connotations, at the end of the day, it's Luffy and Rob Lucci once again. This fight is going for the long haul. Flamingo is not down out yet. Yeah, he's surprised. Yeah, he's taken aback. And Luffy got a good few shots on him, obviously. But by no stretch of the imagination am I going to actually picture Flamingo being down and out now. Or this early. No. We're not done yet. So, this chapter, well, I mean, obviously, it gets the highest rating possible. This is a yo. 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 This is chapter. And Gear 4th, it goes beyond expectations. The fact that he does something very similar to Bellamy's attacks with the springs, and he coils in his own forearm like fucking Mega Man, and he snaps forward with so much intensity, it sends Flamingo flying from the palace area to Central District in an instant. Fuck yeah. Oh, you know there's more to come. So, King Lightning, be sure, of course, rate the video, comment, and subscribe as always, and I will see you guys and gals later. Give me your thoughts, and have a nice damn day. Oh yeah, I want to see y'all next week, because next week, I'm pretty sure Flamingo is going to start going, like, super, super serious, like Saitama serious. And when he starts pulling out his crazy shit, it's going to be some good stuff. So far, so good. And let's keep it that way. Have a nice one.